So I'm going to attempt to show you guys the most budget way I found to convert over to an electric water pump on an LS motor. It can be pretty expensive, but I bought a Mizzier big block Chevy water pump used for $100. You can get the Chinese ones online for about $100, but I found this one was a good deal. And I got the ICT Billet Alternator only bracket and the ICT Billet LS to big block Chevy water pump adapters. I got all this for around $300 is what it should cost me to do the complete conversion. It'll take a little bit of TIG welding. You gotta weld these bungs onto the radiator. And I have a TIG machine, but I'm not good enough with aluminum. I'm gonna have one of my buddies do it for me. But that's about it. I'll put all the links in the description below of all this stuff for you. I'm gonna get started on this. Alright, so the reason why I'm switching to an electric water pump is to fix my belt issue. Anytime I spin it over 7,000 RPMs, it's constantly throwing the belt. I'm just sick of messing with it. I've tried tighter belts, looser belts, different spacing, different tensioners. I've tried everything and it's just annoying. I just want to fix it. I got this cheap bracket here. It was like 60 or 70 bucks, something like that on eBay. I thought it'd be great because it has tons of belt wrap around the alternator and everything, but I'm just constantly throwing belts. So obviously something's wrong with the spacing, something's not lined up. I don't know, but I'm done messing with it. So I'm going to go to the electric water pump and just have a short little belt that goes straight from the crank to the alternator, and hopefully that'll fix my issue and I can spin it to the moon with no problems. Alright, here's my radiator. This is a very popular radiator for people to use. It's out of a 66 Mustang. This is considered a 4-core, I guess, dual pass. I got it off eBay for like 200 and something bucks. But the way I'm going to do this is since on these ICT Billet mounts, the water pump bolts to the bottom and the top's just open for a hose. And there's two of these, one on each side. I'm just going to chop this off and get a plate welded there with these bungs welded on that plate, and it'll take place of this. I'll have two of these right there welded on instead of this. And I'm also going to get this welded on. This is a 1/8 inch NPT aluminum bung. That way I can put a 0 to 100 pressure transducer in there so I can data log coolant pressure, so I can push this thing until it starts lifting the heads. So I chopped off the old inlet, or sorry, old outlet, and I cleaned it up a little bit. Looks like crap, but I cut this piece out of aluminum. I'm just going to have my buddy weld it on there like that. Then I'll get these bungs, I'll drill them out, weld them on there like that. Then I'll get this 1/8 inch NPT bung welded in somewhere around here probably for my pressure transducer. And I'll probably get that done in the next couple days. I'll probably put this all in the same video though, so when you see it here in a little bit, it'll all be finished and welded up. These adapters from ICT Billet, they look real nice. They come with these gaskets and all the bolts you need. But that's it. You'll have to find the adapters or the fittings, everything you need, which is kind of hard to find that are cheap. Most of the ones that I've seen were like $20 or $30, and but these ones are fairly cheap. I'll put them in the description. But on the reviews on these on Amazon, they had horrible reviews. One of the guys said that the threads were jacked up or something, but I mean, I got the right fitting. It's 12AN ORB. I mean, it screws right in, no problem. So I don't really know what issues he had. I can already see one issue I'm going to have with it. We'll see in a little bit. Is that this pump? You can see where I marked it. It barely hits the fitting on that side. And you'll see when I bolt it up here in a little bit. I might have to do a little trimming on that or the fitting. But so far so good. Like I said, they come with these gaskets. But I already have really nice gaskets on there that are like the steel with the rubber in them. So I'm just going to use those instead. I feel like those are a lot better quality. Alright, so I got these adapter blocks bolted in and tightened down. All these fittings are nice and tight. I just put this one bolt in here to show you that it doesn't quite fit. It needs like a 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch, not much, to fit this style fitting. There might be fittings that have smaller nuts on them or something. That might be fine, I don't know. But that's the only issue I've ran into so far. I'm going to take it back off, and I marked it. I'm going to try to clearance it a little bit. I might clearance the pump a little bit and then clearance this nut a little bit. And see if it'll fit. Unfortunately, sometimes you gotta think outside the box when you're trying to save money and do things cheap. But we'll make it work. Well, it took a little bit of clearancing, but I used my air Dremel with a carbide bit, I believe it was called. A little bit of grinding on the nut and the water pump, and I got it to fit. Now obviously this ain't the proper way to do it, but when you're trying to save money, sometimes you gotta just make stuff work. And I'll show you how much I had to clearance it. But as you can see, it's bolted up now. I still got to get some gaskets. The kit does not come with gaskets for the pump to the adapter. It only comes with gaskets for the adapter to the block. As you can see, I just took the Dremel.
Hold on, let me focus.
And just ground that down just a little bit right there where it was hitting. It didn't go through anywhere. I shouldn't have any issues.
I could see it from here if you didn't want to take it all the way off.
And you can see I just ground that off where it was hitting. It sucks having to clearance stuff like this, but I mean, what else am I gonna do? But it'll work. Alright, so with this ICT Billet alternator only bracket, you have to drill and tap this spot right here in the block. You know, there's no hole there. Well, this is made to bolt in there. Obviously this is normally spaced out and everything, but I'm just using this as a template to set it there so I get the right distance when I drill and tap it. I'm going to crank down this bolt and I'll drill through it so I know it's the right distance. And I'll tap that hole and then I can put my bracket on. I'll be good to go. I don't have any metric taps, and the bolt kit that came with it is all metric stuff obviously. So I'll have to get a metric tap and then I'll get that all done. Alright, so I went and had my buddy weld up all those aluminum pieces I need welded. I got this plate welded where the outlet was. I got these half-inch MPT bungs welded in. And then I got this 1/8 inch MPT bung welded in here for the pressure transducer for coolant pressure. But I haven't got a pressure sensor yet, so I just plugged that for now. I went ahead and I drilled and tapped this hole in the block that I needed to drill and tap. I drilled it with a 5/16 drill bit and tapped it with a M10. It wasn't that easy, or wasn't that hard. Cast iron's pretty easy to drill through. And
oh, you got the belt.
I measured around the crank and the alternator and came up with like 36 1/4. Well, they didn't have 36 1/4, but they had 36 1/8. And I made it fit. And I wanted to get it as tight as possible because my exhaust side is like an inch away from the plug on the alternator. So I tried to get it far away as I could. I'll give you the part number for that belt, but obviously unless you have the oversized alternator pulley, you'll need a different size. You'll need a smaller belt. I went to O'Reilly's and got me some gaskets for the water pump, since the ICT billet kit didn't come with gaskets for the water pump. Just came with gaskets for the adapters to the block. And they're just big block water pump gaskets. The part number is 30060. I think they're like $2 a piece. And I'll put ultra copper on all the gaskets too. I always make a good habit of putting a little bit of this on all the gaskets. So all I got to do now is bolt up the water pump for the last time and start wiring and plumbing everything. Another thing with these LS's, they want you to tie in these steam ports. Some people just do the front two. Mine's 4 corners, front and back, all tied in together. And I got this tube right here coming off of that. And I drilled and tapped this pump, and that'll go right there on that. That's supposed to help with circulation, I guess, so you don't get air pockets or something. I don't know. I just always done it and it's worked well, so I keep doing it. So that's it for now. So I skipped recording some things that I should have recorded, but I was getting frustrated and it was late night, and so I just went and did it without recording. But you can tell it's all back together. I just got back from a test drive and everything seems to be good. I got all the air out of the system. It keeps it really cool. Granted, it's like 35 degrees outside, so it doesn't need much to stay cool, but I'd never turned the fan on and it never got above 180 the whole time, even when I was beating on it. But it seems to work good so far. I wrapped it out pretty good, around 7,000 or so, and my belt didn't come off or anything, so that makes me optimistic about that. Really happy with the way that alternator bracket turned out. It's really nice having just a short belt straight to it. Hopefully I'll have no issues with that. As you can see, I got my steam ports plumbed in to my water pump. I got lucky, my water pump just barely clears my fan. I almost thought I was going to do something different for a little bit. Just simple, but it works. Just these 2 hoses right into that, and then I got a hose right into the bottom. The hose on the bottom was really close to my hot side. So I wrapped it in some heat tape. Hopefully that'll help it survive. Tomorrow after work I'm gonna fill it up with fluids and take her out for a drive and hope it works. Hope everything's good. I want to be able to drive it this weekend. I'm supposed to be at a friend's gender reveal party, and I'm supposed to be doing the gender reveal burnout. So that'll be pretty fun.